Hey everybody, I am Warren and you are watching The Vibe. I want to welcome you all to a special segment here where we are going to introduce you to the Jodi Gaines and her band. So if you take a peek, here's the band.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Do me a favor, introduce yourselves real quick, tell everybody who you are.
Sure. Well, thanks very much for having us today, by the way.
I'm glad you came.
Super excited to do this today. And my name is Jodi Gaines, and this is Lenny Skiba. And Ed Barrios, who plays lead guitar and...
lead, rhythm, and vocals. And she plays guitar too. And apparently a beatbox too. So, she's got a brand new album out. It's called Soul Singer. And,
Soul Sugar.
Oh, Soul Sugar, excuse me, I'm sorry. And I brought them in here just to introduce them to everybody. And the way I work it, like you guys know, is I try to make it like we're all getting to know each other all at the same time. So I'm going to start with really just asking you, what genre of music would you consider what you do?
It's funny that I get that question quite a bit, and I always tend to not want to be inside of a box, which is sometimes to my detriment, and sometimes not so much. But I guess if I had to pick, it would be singer-songwriter, rock. The album itself has a little bit of all of that, as well as a little bit of country, soul. I kind of go all over the map, especially with the music that I'm interested in.
Excellent. I was listening to a lot of your stuff last night, and you have a beautiful voice and a lot of range. Like I started off I don't remember what song I started off on, but you were a high register, and somewhere I ended up on Walk Like an Egyptian, and I was like, I love this. This is great. And you know, you really do. You go low, and you have a really high register, which is really nice. I like to hear that, and it's an excellent tone. I was asking her earlier because I took lessons, if she took lessons, and the answer is no. What I hear from her is totally natural, so you need to check out her videos, listen to her music, because it's I had to be trained, she's got it. Came with the package, so it's good stuff.
Thank
it
you.
really, really is good stuff.
Thank you.
And Ed,
Yeah.
I was getting there. I
I
was
know you
putting
were.
on a dramatic pause. You know, I'm not old enough to start forgetting these things yet. Who were your influences?
You know, I started saying that Jeff Beck was probably my biggest influence to play guitar in a band. I have to admit though, the Beatles had a big influence as well. You know, the whole Ed Sullivan Show and whatever. Got a lot of people jazzed up playing rock music. I remember as a kid, you know, using cardboard to make a makeshift version of John Lennon's Black Rickenbacker. You remember that?
Wow.
Back in the day. And it was a pretend guitar, okay, but it was just something that got you going. You know, it was just new, it was exciting. And then, you know, as the years went by, you know, you did start playing with other people, you know, on a local level. You know, I wouldn't say garage band, kind of like more like basement bands.
Okay.
But Jeff Beck had probably the most profound influence on me.
Yardbirds or
Yardbirds. Okay, that whole English invasion thing was very instrumental. So you listen to Alvin Lee. Alvin Lee, I thought, was a phenomenal player. You know, Eric Clapton, obviously. Obviously. There were just so many good bands that came out of England all at that same time that they were always like data overload. But as a kid, though, there were a lot of local bands that were doing a lot of, you know, R&B kind of music, you know, rock, obviously. Not a whole heck of a lot of blues. I didn't really hear a lot of blues playing.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, okay.
So I didn't hear a whole heck of a lot of that. I mean, the closest thing you got to those blues progressions and stuff were Cream, obviously. You know, Mountain.
Mountain, I love Leslie West, big fan.
Yeah, I mean, Leslie was a phenomenal player. You know, so people were long in that period of time, and that was a whole lot of fun. But I was also drawn to top 40 music too. You know, I I love bands like the Little Rascals, and you know, I love bands, believe it or not, like the Dave Clark Five.
Yeah.
And you know, they were very poppy and that kind of stuff. But for some reason, you know, they were very fun to listen to. And
if you're a well-rounded musician, you can't stay pigeonholed. You gotta love it all. You know.
I'm not a jazz player, although I do like, you know, a lot of things that are more progressive type jazz. You know, you can listen to, Billy Cobham, and you listen to Jean Ponty. And I mean, that progressive stuff is like really cool. But that was beyond my technical, you know, stuff.
And I had the patience to learn it.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
You gotta want to be able to do that and spend a whole lot of time. But you also have to learn, you know, how to play in that thing. It's not just a matter of notes.
Right.
So, you know, it's a matter of understanding, you know, what the music is doing and what you can
You play any country at all?
I played some country.
I've been trying to pick it up since I moved down here, because you know, New York, you don't get it unless you're upstate.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't grasp it.
Yeah.
Lenny
You
has
know,
a lot of country
Yeah,
music.
I'm having trouble with like the scaling. It's not a normal scale.
No,
There's
it's
like
not.
those weird things that go in there, and I can't feel it when I'm playing. So
The timing is very critical in country playing.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I think that if I were to say play country, I think I play more like pop country.
pop country.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they have, you know,
That's everything that's out today.
You got your
by country.
because it's very relatable to, you know, the rock and stuff
Absolutely.
that I was playing.
That's actually, it is the rock of today.
Yes, it is.
You know, so you got those triads that you play, and you got a couple of little fast little things that you do, and they're short solos, and not anything, you know, that
Yeah.
goes on forever. You know, because I'm not a picker in that sense. You listen to a Brad Paisley, it's like off the charts,
Yeah.
right? You know, you listen to a Vince
Kenny
Gill,
Chesney, all
Kenny
those
Chesney,
guys,
I mean,
yeah.
all them guys. I mean, it's just off the charts. I can't get there. It's just.
Ed is very humble
He
about
is
his
humble
guitar
because I was
playing,
watching his
because
playing, and I
he's
think he
amazing.
can do it.
Oh
He
yeah,
probably can do it.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah. When I wrote the songs for the album, you know, you start off with just chords and lyrics usually, and putting down the scratch, and called Ed, and we worked on a little bit at my house, and we went into the studio I think like a week or two later, and of course he went home and just spent loads of time with ideas and trying to figure things out. So
How'd you meet?
we met at an open
Open
mic.
mic.
Yeah,
See?
that's
Open jams.
That's
it's
where I got
where you
started.
gotta go.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, cool. Where?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was Double Roads.
Double Roads, yeah.
Yeah.
What town?
In
Yeah,
Jupiter.
Jupiter. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning all the. It's hard for me to find all the open mics because there's so many.
Yeah.
You know, to know where they all are. Do they still run it?
They
Yeah.
still, there's still, and you have other places too. You know, where you can get either acoustic type of open mics, you got
Oh, yeah.
electric
Right,
open mics.
jams,
You know,
yeah.
but what was good about that is that that's where we met. But that's where I also met a lot of musicians as well, right?
For sure,
It got
yeah.
me into, once I moved here from New York, you know, I was working also, whatever, but I wasn't really playing music on a
I'm gonna stop you
Big
for a
scale.
second. I don't just interview New York people.
I'm a native Floridian.
Okay, see,
There you go.
I realize
Go Eagles!
I think the last 4 interviews I've done, people have been from New York, and I'm thinking they're gonna go back on the videos and say, "Oh, this guy, he's
That's funny.
a racist."
It's the sixth borough.
That's right. It's a suburb of
And
New
what's
York.
funny too, when you in New York, Florida is very much like New York.
Oh yeah,
in
especially
the
South
in the
Florida.
way that
South
like
Yeah.
you drive around here right now and look at how many different plates there are.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, no wonder why no one can drive at this time of year. You know, no one can. But yeah, so I'm sorry, I
That's
didn't mean to
okay.
cut you off. It's just that whole New York thing always gets me.
We need a disclaimer.
Absolutely. They
That's
hear,
okay.
and they
We
hear
love
the
New
Long
York.
Island accent.
Yeah,
and
I
they-
know. I love Long Island.
So tell me about your influences too.
Oh gosh, I grew up with Fleetwood Mac playing in my house. you
Actually,
know.
I did hear that.
Yeah, and actually when Lenny and I met, we discovered a mutual love of Fleetwood Mac, and I play a few of their covers out, but when you're doing it solo, you can't do most of their songs
Lindsey
justice.
Buckingham is the most underrated guitar player
Phenomenal.
on the planet. All with his
Totally,
fingers.
yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal. That's a great band to be influenced by. I didn't get into them until later in life. Like I was a metal guy all those years, and then I went back to my dad's record collection.
Right.
It was like I knew Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
But I didn't know Fleetwood Mac. I didn't know about the pre-Fleetwood Mac blues Fleetwood Mac.
Peter
And then Green, and I was like, holy shit, this is like. I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about when I first discovered that.
It's true, you know.
Kind of spreads into all the different genres of music and current artists today too.
Yeah. And their drummer's probably the only guy taller than me.
Jodi and Lenny came to the idea of, doing songs off the Rumors album. Okay. And it's been a while, because usually when you play in a cover band, this is about maybe one or two Fleetwood Mac songs that
The
you
Chains
play
on that, right?
Yeah, The Chains on
My
that.
favorite song by her.
So they, so you get bands, local bands that play, a couple of the same tunes. So when you start going into, and I said, okay, fine, I'll learn these songs. Okay, we'll do them, make them part of the set list and whatever. But it's in that process that you find that number one, the songs aren't terribly complex from a chordal standpoint.
And those are the best songs.
But their production is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where I had a newfound respect for Lindsey Buckingham, because when you listen to what he's doing, okay, his melodies are just like they're right on the money.
On the money.
Yeah.
On the money. The riffs that he comes up with for each of the songs, right on the money.
I think that whole
His
California, at that time, was Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles,
Yes.
Early Journey, which were, different. It was like, I would have loved to have been in the San Francisco area during that time, because that was like, the harmonies that came from that stuff was like, wow, I miss that. Here, I see a lot more of it than I did in New York, because I traveled in the rock crowds. I think there's so much folk music and bluegrass music and country music down here that the good bands, I mean, they spend time on their vocals, and the harmonies are like, wow.
Oh yeah. Well, Lenny, didn't you just do a bluegrass show not that long ago?
You play,
yes,
you play
I actually did.
bluegrass?
I did a Roots Americana show with a band that are very good friends of mine, Americana Jones. And check them out; they're amazing.
Where do you live?
I live in Boca.
Oh, jeez, that's a shame, because
The dichotomy, right?
it is, because there's that open. We have an open bluegrass jam here at the Walking Tree Brewery. Like 30 people show up
Walking
every time.
Tree. I'm very familiar. My friends at String Assassins play there.
Oh yeah. It's a great place.
Yes.
And that Matt, there's two guys, Matt and Bruce. Matt's probably mad at me because I picked on the iPod people, but they're excellent, and they do the bluegrass jam. 30, 40 people show up, all age levels, and it's great. And there's another Melbourne. It's Don't Kill Me. It's Jam Melbourne Beach.
Oh. Okay.
In Melbourne, if you feel like driving that.
Well, my cousin lives up there, so
they do it monthly too, where they do like a porch jam.
And what venue?
It's called Jam Melbourne Beach on Facebook.
Okay,
she'll post it when they do that.
Yeah.
I love it. The bluegrass is great.
Yeah,
mandolins.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I'm in the process of learning how to play.
Are you? That's a tough one. It's percussive.
Yes, well, that's
I'm learning.
That's her.
Yeah, I'm very percussive.
Yeah. That's awesome. Then you can. That's more instruments to bring in, right? The problem when you go in to record, don't you? When you record, and you listen back to the mix, and you're like, I hear a keyboard, or I hear a violin, and it's not there.
That's exactly. That's the best part, is the whole creative process. And
So, where did you go? Where'd you record the album?
we recorded at Raincat Recording Studios in Stewart, and they were amazing. Jeff and Brian run the show there, from a production standpoint and sound engineering, and just incredible to work with. I always joke with Jeff, he was like the night guy on the radio with that voice, that soft voice, speaking to you through your headphones, calms down, and no, it was an amazing experience.
Did he produce you, or did you produce you?
We co-produced together, So, it went in with chords and lyrics, laid down the scratch, and, we had talked ahead of time about what kind of feel, what the stories were behind the songs, what emotions we wanted to invoke with the music itself. And then we laid down drums and bass, and I had a classical guitarist on one song and a violinist, Rebecca from the Nouveau Honkies, played on the track Anything. And then we brought Ed in to do all the lead guitar work. And we knocked that out in one night. He laid down some rhythm guitar and all the leads for it. It was incredible. And then Lenny actually came in. It was like a week or two after I met you.
I know, we just met.
And I'm like, will you come in and do harmonies on the track? And she did an amazing job. So
Great.
yeah.
How long did it take you to do?
I'm
I'm sorry. I may edit this out. We got a little bit interrupted. I'm worried about getting my ass kicked by old people. So I'm not afraid to throw a little puns and funs and stuff like that in here too. What I was getting at is talking about Jodi spending time in the studio. I have always felt that the studio was a magical place. I could be there for... Actually, my ex-wife used to call me like at 4 o'clock in the morning and wonder when I was coming home because I would just stay and like never want to leave, you know?
I love the studio.
I needed musical Viagra or something, so I could just keep it going for a really long time. So you did like 3 months, you said? Or,
2 or 3 months putting
That's
that
good.
together, and probably took a year to write and then rewrite some of the songs. And
Did you do the whole, as you mix the song down, take it to the car, listen to it into the car?
oh yeah, I have like 6 CDs,
Right.
Because that's the only place I have a CD player is in my
In the
car.
car.
So yeah, I have like, you know, just the scratch and then all the other things and listening to the vocals and deciding on any changes or any tweaks.
Yeah.
And yeah, my kids, I have 2 boys, and they were like, Mom, you really like listening to yourself. And I'm like, no, not really. This is work, guys.
Yeah, you see, they don't get that. My kids are like this, are the same way too.
They're actually both musically inclined.
Oh,
One plays
wow.
guitar, and the other sings and plays a little piano.
See, well, then
So,
they're all
yeah.
rubbed off. Look, that'll make you happy.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wish
yeah.
my boys played. They
Yeah.
got instruments. I bought them drums, bought them guitars, bought them,
Right.
but I don't know.
My oldest actually played guitar long before I got started. And
Really?
yeah, because I hadn't started gigging until, I think my first open mic was 3 years ago. It popped up on my Facebook memories today.
Wow.
Well, what
But-
made you decide to go?
Well, I had, I was at a party, and I remember overhearing this woman talk about how she was getting out and starting to play in public. And she was about my age, and I thought, that's really cool. I can do that. And so my son had been in guitar lessons with Micah Scott. I don't know if you've heard of him. Amazing Americana musician. Banjo, guitar. He's a one-man band, too. Just incredible. So he's giving my son guitar lessons, and so I thought, you know what? To my son's utter dismay, I'm going to do this, too. So I started taking lessons, and he had me pick a song that I liked and related to and was easy enough to learn. And so I did, and I think a couple weeks into it, I told him, I was like, I just have to sing the song. in front of you.
So you went to starting lessons, learning guitar, and learning to sing and play at the same time, all in
Yes.
one shot.
Well, yes, and started out by humming, because
Okay.
that was hard. You know, you'd never done that before, and that was the challenge. So it started out by humming the melody while I was playing, and
You
then
never did karaoke or anything like that before that?
probably every so often. But
I'm
I think the
impressed.
shower stall was probably my biggest venue for a long time. So
That is impressive.
sounded good in there.
See, I always say that if you're the person that's sitting at home and you're just afraid to go out and do it, to just go out and do it.
Absolutely.
Because there's going to be somebody that's going to encourage you to keep going,
Yeah.
no matter what your skill level is. And
yeah.
and then there you are now with
Yeah.
an album and
he
3
said,
friends
go do
playing
open
with you.
mics.
And yeah.
So that's what I did. And not only did it lead me to doing gigs, but it led me to a whole new family of musicians that I had never met before. And, you know, we talked about music being a common thread regardless of politics, religion, race.
Right.
And it's so true. And you go to these open mics and people are so welcoming, and you've got novices and you've got professionals that want to come out and just hang out with their friends and play music, or new musicians coming
Or
into
just sit and
town.
bullshit about music.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know? That, like, I know no matter what your age is and my age is, and where you come from, where you were born, no matter what language you speak, no matter what music you play, that I can sit down with somebody who's a musician and have a deep conversation.
Right.
Like my brother and my father used to do over sports. I'm not the guy that can sit there and get so excited about a sports team, but I sure can about music and learning about other players.
Right.
Where did you meet her?
Well,
This is Lenny, by the way, if I didn't say that already.
it was so unexpected. I currently play with Emily Brooke.
Emily Brooke?
Emily Brooke.
Okay.
She was on American Idol 2 seasons in a row.
Wow.
She went to Hollywood, top 24.
I just met a girl today who's on the new season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
It's your show.
It's a lead singer's disease, you know?
Yeah, right. But anyway, I've been with Emily now for 3 years, and she's a Nashville recording artist, and she's going to be a big star. Anyway, Jodi reached out to me on social media, on Facebook. She was asking around in our community. She's looking for a woman guitarist that sang harmony vocals, and you know, I
highly recommend it.
I've known Ed for many years, and he referred me, and also one of the local businesses, Wolf Guitars, Jay Wolf, had referred me.
Cool.
To, I was like so humbled and like, you know, I was like, wow, really? So she reached out to me, and you know, initially I told her,
Yeah.
Trust me.
oh, thank you. You know, I have the commitment to Emily, and I still do. However, you know, I was very interested in what she had to offer, because I see that, you know, she had an EP coming out. So I went up to the Grouper to
Great
watch them
venue.
play. Oh,
Great
yeah.
venue. I love the groupers, both
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. I haven't been to the Fort Pierce one yet. But
It's-
You
Well, it's
guys
exactly
know
the
I love
same.
you, so you should hire Treasure Coast Webstream.
It's a great
I've always loved playing at the Grouper.
When you look out and see just the view.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You have the
You can't beat
lighthouse,
it.
you have the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You can't beat it.
so I went up, and Ed was playing with another gentleman, with Jodi, Roger Carr. I listened to her actually online, and I was like really intrigued by her voice. Her voice is very unique.
So you saw what I saw last night, right?
Yeah. It was like she was like Stevie Nicks met Sheryl Crow, met Janis Joplin, met Melissa Etheridge, but she had her own tone,
Right.
her own vibe, and I was like,
I got kind of a little Dave Matthews vibe
Yeah.
out of it too.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
certain,
yeah.
at
Little
certain
Dave
times.
Matthews, little, I don't know. She just has her own thing going.
Yeah.
So I was like really impressed with what I heard and saw. I'm like, you know what, I can do this. I think I can add something.
So how many instruments do we play?
I play my main instrument is guitar, rhythm guitarist. I'm a background vocalist and harmony vocalist. I play piano, I play harmonica, and I'm learning how to play mandolin.
And you have tambourine shoe.
Oh, am I?
Right?
You always know when Lenny's coming in between
I didn't
sets.
notice it until like
Walking
2
around.
seconds ago.
Tambourine that I bought in Nashville.
So I'm going to zoom in on your shoes. Right?
I'm glad I
Ladies,
got a pedicure.
if you did not know this, we may start selling tambourine shoes at Jodi Gaines' gigs.
Yes, that's a good idea. You brand
Yeah,
that.
Hell out of that.
Does
She
she?
does.
$1.99 in Nashville, actually.
Yeah.
The drummer in the other band, he bought a kit there, and we were like looking around the store. I was with Emily, and like, you know what, we should get these. You know, it's like when it's just like a duo, or
Right.
you have like percussion.
You know, I keep in my bag all the time an egg shaker.
Oh, yeah, the
And,
little shaker. I
yeah,
have
because
a
you never
shaker.
know when you might need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those little subtle things that comes in. Capos, I never have.
Capo?
Yeah, I can never find a capo when I need one.
Oh,
But a
no,
shaker, I always have.
Yeah, no, capo,
Go
I'm
figure.
capo queen.
Yeah, me too.
What's your gear? Tell me about your guitars. What do you play? I'm one of those. I'm a gearhead.
Yeah.
Well, for the acoustic, well, Lenny, you want to go ahead?
Sure. No, you can be my guest. You
All
can
right.
start.
For the acoustic, I play a Breed Love.
We all play Relove.
Breed Love.
Play.
Yeah.
Sponsorship.
Jay Wolf.
Jay.
Wolf guitars.
We all play
Breed
Breed
Loves
Loves.
today.
Yeah.
But on the electric side, I have a variety of stuff. I have Fenders, I have Nash guitars, Bill Nash.
You have one that's your baby.
yeah, I bought this guitar brand new when I was a kid. My first real electric guitar. It's a 1968 Fender Telecaster.
Beautiful sound.
Nice.
And I have it still today.
Really?
And that's probably the one that I try to get buried with.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be great, Robin.
Telly's it's got the perfect. I always thought it sounded like the perfect middle of a Strat and a Les Paul. This guitar
Yeah.
was like had just the subtleties of both.
But I'm a big Tele guy. I like Telecasters, but I also play Strats, and I have several Heritage brand guitars, both kind of like the 335 types, the big body, the semi-hollows.
What does your wife say every time you buy a new guitar?
What's the old joke?
I think she gave up.
Right, we buy guitars, you buy shoes. That's the way it works.
I think she gave up.
How many
What do you
guitars do you
play?
really need?
I play, I have a couple of Reloves, which are my favorite. The first guitar I bought was a Relove, and that's still my favorite one. And I also have a Taylor T5, which I like a lot as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Taylor's nice.
Nice sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do you got?
Well, I got a lot of stuff. My
see her
go-to.
living room.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, wow.
She's running out
One
of
of
room.
my musician friends, they came over to my house one time. It's like, you know what? Lenny's house is a storage for guitars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my place. I have 2 cats and a whole shitload of gear. You know? Yeah.
My signature guitar is a Bayette Journeyman. Bayette is their custom shop up in Woodstock, New
Okay.
York. And it's a solid body acoustic electric, and it's very small.
Did
It's
you
not
get it
short-
there?
No, I was very lucky. One of my old bass players, Ziggy, he was taking lessons from this gentleman, Kent, and Kent did some session work, but he bartered and he got this guitar, and when Ziggy went over for lessons, he saw this guitar, and he's like, oh my God, this would be perfect for Lenny. Because, I would like playing, when you have acoustics, even though you have the sound hole plug, you get that feedback from the wedges, and I was having issues with that, and he brought it, and I gave it a test drive, and actually it was kind of significant, because the first time I played with Emily was with that guitar. It was like an omen, but when I first played, I'm like, oh my God, I love it. I mean, the tone is amazing, and nobody, everybody, when they see it, it's like, what kind of guitar is that? So that's my signature guitar.
You're on your bucket list. You have to now go visit where it was made.
Oh, yes.
I swear, I promise you, 2 days in Woodstock, you'll think you died and went to heaven. It's
Really?
It's
Yeah,
rustic.
I've never been there. I've never been
It's
to
very
Woodstock.
rustic, but there's still a vibe in the air.
Really?
It's amazing. And if you got to look closely, there's shit growing all over the place.
From
My
1969?
kids found it. I had my kids are much older now, but I think they were like 13 and 6 at the time. And we'll walk in, and the 13-year-old, there's a house on Main Street that does candles, right? We walk next to the house, and my son's like, Dad, is that what I think that is? And I had to go, sure enough, right out in the open. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
But it's very big.
Stunning.
They still keep it very artistic up there.
Wow, that's very cool.
It's a
I'm
cool
gonna
place
have
to go chill out.
Definitely make a point to visit Woodstock
Yeah.
for sure. Then, for sure.
So I want to play them a cut from the CD. What do you want me to
Okay.
play?
Actually, yeah, we've, Soul Sugar.
Because they're going to play for us. So
Yeah.
what can I play that you're not going to play for me?
Oh, you know what? Why don't you play Soul Sugar? That's the single that's out now. The EP is on pre-order right now.
Okay.
And then it'll go out to everyone on March 23rd. It gets released. And we actually have this big CD release party planned on March 25th at Terra Firmata in Stewart.
Oh, beautiful venue.
So, oh my gosh,
Yeah, I love
amazing
it. I love
sound.
it.
And
Yes.
we've got a couple of opening acts and some guest musicians that are going to come on. And it'll be my birthday the day.
All right,
before the
so-
show, so
Alan J. from Cosmic Barley. Do you know who they are?
I know Cosmic Barley, yes.
Okay. Good friends of mine. And they're always looking for talent. And they're very tied in with Terra Firmata. So, Alan J., what day was it?
The party
The
is
CD
on March 25th.
March
Sunday.
25th. One of you guys stop down to Terra Firmata for me. If I'm not there, Well, I'll be there, but I want one of you guys to stop down there and check them out because I think she'd fit on some of your bills. They're going to start doing like big Cosmic Barley festivals in Fort Pierce. So
Nice, yeah.
yeah, and they're good guys. Like they're very committed to the scene too. So
Right. That's great, yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna play Soul Sugar off of her album Soul Sugar, and we'll be back in a second.
Need a little sugar to feed my soul, music to move me when I'm feeling low. Not too nice and easy, no, I'm not so inclined. Give me something groovy, little on the wicked side. Sugar in the morning and sugar at night. I need some soul sugar, darling, that will blow my mind. You got the time, baby, I got the rhyme. I need some soul sugar, darling, don't waste my time. Rock candy, no stop, pop when I play. Need a smooth blues ballad like Tangerine. Don't cry me a river, don't want tears in my beer. I like the sweet funky music, chase away that fear. Sugar in the morning and sugar at night. I need some soul sugar, darling, that will blow my mind. You got the time, baby, I got the rhyme. I need some soul sugar, darling, don't waste my time. My mind's made up, I ain't changing a thing. I like playing guitar, I like chasing my dreams. Funny how it goes when you spread your wings and no music is sugar. Sugar in the morning and sugar at night. I need some soul sugar, darling, that will blow my mind. You got the time, baby, I got the rhyme. I need some soul sugar, darling, don't waste. Sugar in the morning and sugar at night now. I need some sugar that will blow my mind. You got the time, baby, I got the rhyme. I need some sugar, don't waste. Don't waste my time. Na 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 na. So sugar, baby. So sugar, darling. Give me some sugar, daddy. Going through life, making my way, and I stumble on an unexpected friend. We shared a cigarette, rolled back a beer, talked for a while, it seemed like years ago. Now you're gone, and I miss you. You give it all away. Get it back against me. So time is off, and you lose the chance to say, change my life, just say. Table's empty, staring at memory. I wish I had more time to talk, more time to share. We had some good lives there. You built me up,
Black hat and white beard and a big grin on your face. Now you're riding in the wind, and I'll miss you. Whoa. Thank you.
Two claps.
That's my favorite part of the song. The lead in between and the bridge. That's Jodi, Gaines without the Ville, Gaines. And Music Soul Sugar is available for pre-order now on iTunes as well as on my site and on Google Play. And then when it gets released on March 23rd, it will be on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. We've got some great CD packages and koozies, with little bottle openers there.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
important.
cool.
With a bottle opener.
I was impressed by that. Can.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
And it's got a bottle opener holder.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can.
Or your lighter or whatever
Yes.
you want to put in there.
Yes.
It's a nice little feature.
That's an extra
yeah.
feature.
Yeah. So we have our big CD release party at Terra
So
Firmata.
take her cue.
Yes.
It's called branding.
Merchandising.
Branding.
So on March 25th, we have
25th.
the big
CD
album
release.
release. Yeah.
Yep.
And
release party.
we've got Jake Walden opening up, as well as Diane Cumberland. She is an incredible solo artist. And we've got a full band behind us and some guest musicians coming on too. And it's free, open to the public, 6 to 9 at Terra Firmata. And my birthday is the day after. So we're going to have cupcakes.
Oh,
Yes.
So if for any reason,
so have swag
that's
and
one.
cupcakes.
Absolutely.
There are some
So,
wonderful players on this bill.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And
Yep.
some up and comers too.
Yeah.
To keep an eye on.
for
So,
sure, for
Absolutely.
sure. And so we play at the Square Grouper
Yeah, we
once
got
a month.
Harry and the Natives.
Harry and the Natives. We also
Harborside Place.
yes,
coming up
that's
next
right.
week.
Next week we're at
Yeah.
Harborside.
Busy
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're really excited also to be playing the Midwest Sunsplash. Sorry, PETA. Out in Wisconsin, and
Yeah,
they've
that's
been
in the
doing that for
summertime.
5 years. Yeah, and it's a whole day festival with musicians from all over the country, and they're raising money for a children's charity. So,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're working on an East Coast tour as well, and we'll keep everybody up to date on. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. At the Jodi Gaines, so I've got everything up to date with the schedule on those.
We need to start some kind of a T-shirt that has like a scrolling print on the back, so that
right.
all the websites that we all
Right.
have.
Socials. All the
Yeah.
socials.
It would be nice if we can get those signs instead of just the banners to put on the stage.
Yeah.
To have
They
that
have
stuff.
those
It was
digital.
inexpensive.
Yeah, they have these LEDs.
Yeah, but to like
Scroll.
carry around with you.
Yeah, they have like.
Oh.
You know what? I want
Let's
to put
talk
one of
about
those
that.
in my rearview mirror, so I can just type nasty messages to the people behind me.
I would wait for my kids to design a blow up button for me
Yeah,
in my
right.
car. I just want to hit it.
G-rated.
Good idea.
All right, guys, take it away. Give me
All
another one.
right, so this one's In These Arms. It's about finding new love and coming home. In these arms I feel safe. In these arms I feel whole. In these arms I lay my head. Tend to me.
harmony.
you.
Definitely the Fleetwood Mac. Is
Right?
without
Yes, yes. Well, I must tell you, it's probably gonna. I'm a big fan of that. His guitar work on this album is incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It
really
reminded me of that particular song. I was like, oh my god, it's like Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah,
like
big
there's
time.
that during the breakdown, the bridge there. It's like there was this one lick that's like, oh my god, like tickles my ears.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
love
know,
it.
it's really funny now that I have to go back and relearn some of those parts.
Spoken like a true lead guitarist. Like, I know, play the same thing twice. You know what
I mean, I gotta learn my own
I mean? Wait
stuff.
on it.
What the hell did I do there?
Well, that's the nice thing about
Yeah,
playing your
it is
own
good.
songs.
Yes,
you can
yes.
take liberties
That's right.
to
Right.
Absolutely.
embellish. And
So, guys, you have met Jodi Gaines and her band, Lenny, and Ed,
Yes.
and Jodi with an I.
Yes.
There
Thanks
are
so
other
much.
members of the band too, but they're not here today. So make sure you guys come out to her CD release party for
Yes.
Soul Sugar. It's a great album.
Thank
It sounds
you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
You guys are very, very talented, and I thank you so much for coming and
you for
hanging out with me
having
today.
us.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for
We had a
Yes,
great
this is
time.
awesome what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.